And now joining us for more on the illegal demonstrations at the Temple Mount complex and the arrests that have followed is Middle East expert Dr. Colonel Reuven Berko. Dr. Berko, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
All right, so what are your initial reactions to the arrests of the Waqf officials at the Temple Mount? Let's start with that. What are your initial reactions?
What we see there, the riots and the restless the Palestinians create deliberately to every time they get themselves into a dead end, they try to use Al-Aqsa as a leverage for raising again the cause of the Palestinians. They try to turn Al-Aqsa traditionally into a religious apocalyptic fight. All the years we saw this attempt. They failed to do this because Arab states understand this maneuver. But what we see now is the understanding of Palestinians and Jordanians that they are facing facts on the ground. They are preparing themselves to what is called by them the deal of the century. There's about to be
the American
deal. This is one, and again they see the involvement of Turkey and Hamas inside Al-Aqsa Mosque. And they see, of course, what Israel is doing all over this period by preparing for the day to come in which Palestinians and Jordanians understand that they lose the option of creating something, or a capital of so-called Palestine in Jerusalem. And one should, sorry for interrupting, one should take into account that Palestinians did not have ever a state named Palestine, and naturally they did not have a capital in Jerusalem for a state that had never been. Add to this the fact that in any Arab state in which a city which has got any site of holiness, like Mecca and Medina in Saudi Arabia, it then turned these cities into a capital to Saudi Arabia. Najaf and Karbala and Qom. They did not turn to be capitals of Shia states.
So my question is, in terms of action, how should Israel be responding? You know, was it right to arrest the Jordanian Waqf officials, or maybe should we have gone a different way about it? Because if they're trying to change the status quo, if they're trying to use Al-Aqsa and Jerusalem as a diversion, as a diversionary tactic, is Israel playing into their hands, or is Israel doing the right thing by limiting the response?
This is a good question. I was an advisor on Arab affairs for many years in Jerusalem. We are keeping very, very toughly on the status quo. Any attempt to change the status quo is something that we cannot accept in any of the fields, whether it was on the churches of Jerusalem and the holy sites for Jews and Arabs. The secret of coexistence between the three monotheistic religions is to keep the status quo as it was all these years.
So any charges that Israel is trying to change the status quo?
Not at all, but what we see is the deliberate attempt by the Palestinians to change it, and in this time, since we have given to Jordanians the advantage of managing the holy sites of Islam in Al-Aqsa, just because they have to lean upon holy places like the Saudis, the Al Saud in Saudi Arabia that runs and managing the holy sites, Mecca and Medina, the dynasty of Jordan crown leans upon the holy place of Al-Aqsa. Now they are sharing it, which might, with Palestinians, which might share not to a change in Jerusalem, but a change of creating a confederation of Palestino-Jordanian politic enclave of Palestine would be one day part of Jordan.
All right, well, I'm sure there's a lot more that we can talk about there, and
no doubt.
I would love to. Unfortunately, that's our time. Dr. Berko, thank you so much again for coming in and sharing your insights.
Thank you.